AirWoof 1.
One morning, the AirWoof 1 crew got up early and headed to a Maryland mountaintop to catch the sunrise and to shoot some windmills. Before this morning, we had made several other flights, but this was certainly our most extreme environment. Up on top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere with high winds all around us. We were cautious at first, keeping the quadcopter below the tree line. We knew the winds would be much worse above the trees. But the point of being up there on top of the mountain was to get the panoramic views, and we wanted to get some really good shots of the windmills. So eventually we decided to push our luck and go a little higher. Our quadcopter, the DJI Phantom 3, has a max airspeed of about 35 miles an hour. So when the winds are greater than 35 miles an hour, it gets blown away. There's pretty much nothing you can do. We soon discovered that they placed these windmills on top of this mountain for a reason. There is prevailing high-speed, consistent winds, and it was there this morning. The DJI quadcopter has many GPS functions. Onboard GPS, the remote control has GPS, as well as satellite imagery showing the locations of both the controller and the quadcopter. It also notes the takeoff location, and there is a feature that one can enable to have the quadcopter do everything it can to return back to the takeoff location. As soon as we realized that the quadcopter was being blown away, this return home function was enabled, allowing the quadcopter to battle the winds to try to return home, minimizing the distance that was being covered by the quadcopter from a ground level basis. We then jumped into cars and, using a remote control, followed where the quadcopter was going and were able to follow it all the way until the batteries died. In addition to return home, the quadcopter has other safety features. One, when the batteries reach a critical level, it lands itself no matter where it is. Two, it has sonic sensors in order to avoid trees and buildings and other obstacles. And three, it turns off the camera at the last second to conserve as much battery power as possible. As a result, the footage ends before the quadcopter actually lands, but you can see from the last frames of the footage that it luckily landed in a light industrial area. Had it landed out in the middle of all those woods, it would have got damaged in the trees, it might have got hung up in the trees, and we would have had a lot of hiking through very difficult terrain in order to get to it. In the end, we count ourselves lucky. Quadcopter landed, it had very minimal damage, some prop damage, some landing gear damage, but all in all, it was whole and able to be repaired easily to be used for another day.